This is HOA property now. That's the line she threw at me, her voice echoing across my own driveway like a judge dropping the gavel, even though behind her crews were laying down gravel, painting massive numbers on the ground, calling it a runway right on my land. No warning, no vote, no common sense. I almost laughed, the kind of laugh you let out when things get so crazy you figure you must be dreaming. But then I realized everyone else, the neighbors, the board members, the construction guys with their orange vests, they were all just going along with it like this was normal, like I was the odd one out. That's when it hit me. I was about to lose a fight I never even agreed to have. The surveyor dropped his third steel post into the frozen ground, right where my granddad once set his stone marker, and the clang of that metal rod cut through the morning like a warning shot. From my kitchen window, hands wrapped around a mug of coffee gone cold, I watched as he checked shiny gear waving an orange flag in the wind. Each thunk felt like a hammer to the memories of my childhood, chasing Granddad row by row through sunburned fields, corn dust swirling in the air, the whole place marked out by nothing but sweat hand tools and family stubbornness. That land was ours, not a suggestion, not a theory, just a fact you could touch, dig and bleed on. Now there were cones graters, work lights, permanent stuff, not a neighborly favor. These people weren't playing. They were building like they owned it. And then right on cue, here comes Denise Caldwell, HOA president, strutting out of her little trailer with a clipboard like it's a sword and the world's about to be saved by her signature. You ever meet someone who could turn a mailbox into a battlefield? That's Denise. 3 years running this neighborhood, every minor squabble turned into a crusade, every smile as sharp as a shovel blade. She waves a stack of paperwork in my face, official letterheads, shiny stamped signatures that might as well be written in crayon for all I cared. Federal aviation guidelines, emergency access, she says with that tone reserved for slow learners and naughty children. Like I was supposed to believe the government parachuted in to carve a landing strip straight through my backyard for community safety. I didn't buy it for a second. "Show me which agency signs off on this," I said, "or point me to the law that lets you bulldoze someone's home without even asking." Denise hesitated, just a flicker, but enough. Suddenly, those impressive stamps looked more like theater makeup. The surveyor finishes his measurements, comes over cool professional, and says, "Property edge as clear as daylight, construction crosses private estate, no easement filed." Fact, not opinion. Even Mrs. Henderson, 2 houses down, pokes her head over the fence, pruning shears in hand, and says she never saw a single permit posted. County requires them for stuff like this. Her voice had the kind of worry you can't fake. "I've spent 20 years working for the FAA. I know what real paperwork looks like. Real authorizations have names, phone numbers, accountability stuff you can check. These forms all flash zero substance." So I picked up the phone, called the county on speaker so everyone could hear. "No permits, no approvals, nothing on record. I'll be straight with you. My name is Jake Hollis, FAA director. And yeah, this mess is on my land, but I wasn't going to handle it in the shadows. Every step I took, I logged calls, paperwork, photos, because if you want justice, you do it in the open." Denise didn't take that well. She storms back with 2 board members at her side folder, so thick you'd think it could stop a bullet, waving another emergency authorization from the fire marshal. Pages, tabs, colored highlights. She really put in the overtime. But you can't bluff a bluff caller. I dialed the fire marshal, Luke Bradley gruff as a chainsaw voice rough from years of sirens and smoke. Put him on speaker. He listened, then said, "No record, no inspection, no consent. Whoever's claiming approval is lying." Just like that, the room went silent. The lie dropped flat. You could see the board members go pale. You could see Denise's confidence drain right down into the folder. Fraud's not just a mistake. That's a crime. The neighbors were watching it all fall apart in real time. That's when the county records officer, Rebecca Marston, rolled up. She's the kind of person who can spot a fake license from across the street 20 years keeping municipal paperwork clean. One look at her screen, zero filings, no applications, nothing but a mountain of trouble for Denise. Insurance guy calls too. Says we're suspending all property coverage pending resolution, aviation hazards, void every single policy. It's like the sky fell twice. Loans, mortgages, everything on the line, and all of it resting on a pile of fake paperwork and a runway nobody wanted. Emergency HOA meeting, everybody packed in faces like thunderclouds, arms crossed, eyes narrow. This wasn't some silly argument about grass height or mailbox color. This was survival. Luke Bradley walks in uniform, sharp folder in hand, radio crackling with news the sheriff wants an immediate bribery investigation. The crowd is electric, Denise clinging to her story. But one by one, the facts come out. Neighbors saw crews at night, odd checks, money moving where it shouldn't. Luke flips through the ledger, calls it out, illicit transfers, forged names, not a single rule followed. Denise Cracks accuses me of using my federal job to bully the board. But the crowd's not buying it, not after hearing Mrs. Henderson, dirt still on her hands, say, "This isn't intimidation, it's crime." The sheriff's deputy steps in notepad, snapping shut time for Denise to face charges for bribery, forgery, criminal trespass. Suddenly it's real. Nobody's laughing now. A couple days later, the insurance investigator comes out. Clinical, unsympathetic documents. Everything says coverage is frozen. The foreman on the job, Tom Morrison, a solid guy who just wanted to get paid, tells me he was promised settlement approval. The works turns out Denise lied to him too. Now the HOA's staring down 30 grand in unpaid invoices and a lawsuit from every direction. Bank calls a meeting. Illegal construction means loan acceleration 15 days to fix, or they start foreclosure. Financial disaster just because one person decided the rules didn't apply. The neighbors, some of whom never even liked each other, started coming together mad as hornets, but determined not to let Denise drag the whole block down. The twist crop duster pilots, the ones who've flown the same paths for years, suddenly start pulling wild, evasive maneuvers to avoid the runway. Parents run outside kids pointing up at planes, weaving around obstacles that were never supposed to be there. Even hang gliders are getting caught off guard. Everybody sees it now. This isn't some improvement. This is a threat. Another emergency HOA session. Patricia Williams, a retired attorney, grabs the gavel, lays out the bylaws, walks the board through emergency protocols line by line, exposing every single violation. The treasurer, James Crawford, brings out the receipts, $30,000 gone, not a vote in sight. Denise's own husband, Michael, stands up and says he can't defend crime, not even for family. You could feel the whole community pivot in that moment from disbelief to action. They stripped Denise of her presidency on the spot. Lawsuit filed. Class action coming. The process server arrives. Hands her papers for criminal charges and civil damages. After 6 months, court dates, depositions, the whole 9 yards, she pleads out, gets probation, pays restitution, is barred from any HOA position for life. They made her pay for the demolition, the legal fees, the new insurance policies, everything. Granddad's stone marker was returned, fields fixed, neighborhood slowly healed. The old runway spot. Now it's a community garden, built the right way, on actual permits. Everybody pitching in. No secrets. We changed the rules. No more one-person emergencies. Annual training for every committee member. Real checks and balances. Real transparency. People started calling me from all over. How to spot a fake approval. What to do if the HOA goes rogue. How to get justice without losing your shirt. If there's a lesson here, it's this. Rules aren't just paperwork. They're what keeps you safe when the world goes sideways. Crime. It only eats away at the trust, holding a community together. So tell me, would you have stood your ground or just let them roll over you? Ever seen an HOA try something like this? Drop a comment, share your thoughts. Let's hear your war stories. I'm just getting started making this channel better, so stick around. Until next time, stay sharp, take care of your own, and don't let anybody tell you the land your family built is just property now.